This is Brendan with Sons of Speed, and we have another episode of Corvette Corner for you today. And we're going to talk about why, if you are going to order a C8 Corvette, you should definitely think hard about getting at least the 2LT package, because there's a lot of great things that you can't even get on a 1LT and that you'll be skipping out on if you just settle for the 1LT package, the cheapest package that comes with the car. So this is a preview of our vehicle as we would build it if we were getting one of these. So, but first let's go over to the C8 order guide, and we're going to talk about a few of the things that you may not realize you're missing out on if you just go in and say, give me just the $59,000 special. Yeah, that's a great starting price, but there's a lot of stuff that you need to know that you'd be missing out on. Starting with, so this 10-speaker audio system. Yeah, that sounds great, but as you'll see down the line here, you're going to miss out on something even better. And this stuff in the audio, you get a lot of things standard that sound really good. So you've got Bluetooth audio, you've got for 2 devices, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, voice recognition, apps. You know, you don't really need the navigation. You could do that through your phone as long as you have a connection. So there's a lot of temptation sometimes to say that, you know, that's enough. You get a rear vision camera. Sounds great, right? But let's go through some of the things. And you know, you get manual folding side mirrors on the 1LT package. It's standard. But now we get into the 1LT here on the left, 2LT in the middle, and 3LT on the right. And the black squares is what comes with each of these packages. So first thing off, this isn't really important or meaning anything, but just so you know, is enhanced voice recognition, whatever that means. Additional memory for your in-vehicle apps. Okay, so what? And cloud connected personalization. None of that means anything. It wouldn't be the reason you'd pick a 2LT over a 1LT. But there's other stuff. Now we're starting to get somewhere. 14 speaker system. If you haven't seen the video on just sort of demonstrating this, apparently it's the most speakers anyone's ever stuffed into a 2-seat sports car. It's supposed to sound amazing. It's supposed to move a lot of air. It's just supposed to be one of those things that people are really going to love about this car that isn't performance related. It's more just the creature comforts. And a lot of the things I'm talking about or going to be talking about are really going to affect trade-in value, resale value, and things down the line. So think about that as well. You know, what you put into the car today, you should hopefully get some of that back in resale value down the line, because if somebody really wants to buy one of these a couple of years from now and they really want that sound system and you've only got the 10-speaker one, well, they're going to start looking for cars that have the 14-speaker system. Okay, next on the list is the head-up display. Now, I have a C7. I've been using a head-up display since 2014. It's amazing. I mean, literally, I can't imagine a car without it, especially a performance car where you want to see what you're doing sort of while you're seeing what you're doing in the background on the road. You don't want to be looking down at your gauges when you're going really fast and missing out on a turn or a brake zone or something like that. It's especially helpful on the track, especially in an automatic, because sometimes with the helmet on, you can't really hear what gear you're in or where you are. And if the gear indicator is not something big and right in front and center in your face, sometimes it's hard to remember what gear you're in or see what gear you're in or hear what gear you're in. So having that in a head-up display is perfect. It's just exactly where you want it to be. And trust me, if you're going to do any tracking on the car, you're going to at least want a 2LT for a number of reasons, but this is one of them. You also get the turn-by-turn navigation in there, the G-meter, speed limits, lap times. I mean, lap times in your head-up display, the C7 doesn't do that. I would love that, because that's something you got to look down for. You got to wait so you're like in a straightaway and you get a little bit of a break that you can look down and see, okay, how was that last lap time? You know, what's it look like? If it's right there in your head-up display, it's amazing. I'm hoping that's something that we can retrofit into the C7, but for the C8, definitely this is a huge, huge thing. Now, HD front and rear vision cameras. You only get the rear backup camera that turns on when you put the car in reverse with the 1LT package. With the 2LT, you get that, but you also get the mirror that is also a monitor. So instead of a rear view mirror, you have a rear view camera. That's the one that's mounted high and center on the back of the car, right above the engine, right above the rear window. And because the rear visibility in this thing is going to be terrible, that is extremely important to have. Plus, you get the curb view cameras, the cameras up in front that I have these on my C7. They show you exactly from a bird's eye view how close you are to hitting that curb in front of you. And trust me, it saves your splitter. It'll save your front end. It'll save you money. It'll save you damages. It'll save you embarrassment. It's something that you can't even get on a 1LT. You definitely want to get that. Memory seats. So you may think, I'm the only person going to be driving this car. I don't need memory seats. Well, are you going to go to the track? Because your track driving position is going to be a lot different than your street driving position. It's going to be more upright. It's going to be closer to the steering wheel. I have my first memory set to my street driving position. My second memory is set to my track driving position, and I use it all the time because I never have to play with it anymore. It's already been set, and I just go back to it via memory. And obviously, if you have a spouse or somebody else driving your car, having memory seats is going to be amazing because it's also memory for the mirrors, and it's trust me, you're going to want it. This next one is going to be huge. Performance data recorder is already awesome in the C7. It's even going to be even better in the C8. A, it records in 1080p. B, it's going to have a ability to loop as a dash cam that automatically, which is awesome. Trust me, that'll be amazing. If anything ever happened and you were looping the dash cam video, you can go back and prove, hey, that accident wasn't my fault, or you might see something that you were like, oh, I wish I had that on video. It's already going to be there. If you're going to the track, the telemetrics and stuff that they put in this car is so awesome. You want that information if you're trying to better lap times, better yourself and getting better lap times. It's autocross. Whatever you do, if you're doing any performance driving at all, or you just want to have a nice camera for a scenic drive without having to put a GoPro up or something like that, trust me, you'll use it. You'll use it a lot. It's a fantastic feature, and it comes standard on 2LT, which it didn't do last time in the C7. You had to pay extra for that as an option. It came in the 3LT package, but the 3LT package was a lot more money. So this is, they're throwing it in on the 2LT. It's awesome. Definitely worth the price of admission when that comes out. We're about a week away from what that price of admission is going to be for all of this stuff, but I think it's going to be worth it. You take a hard look at that. All right, theft deterrent system. So, wheels get stolen all the time. Cars get stolen as well, but not as often. One of the things you can't even get on a 1LT is this, the inclination alarm. If you jack up a 2LT or 3LT Corvette without the keys in it, the alarm will go off. It doesn't do that in a 1LT car. So if you're worried about your wheels getting stolen, and people just using wheel locks, all these thieves have wheel lock keys for every wheel lock that they make. So this is probably your best defense against that, is that the alarm is going to go off the second they jack that car up. And trust me, it works. I've done it because if I don't have my keys in the car and I'm changing my wheels, the alarm goes off and I got to go scramble for the keys and silence that alarm. So it does work. There's also this interior motion sensor. So if your windows are down, but the roof is in and the doors are locked, it has a motion sensor. So if anyone reaches inside the vehicle, it'll set the alarm off. Next, you get the universal home remote. So you've got the 3-channel garage door opener. You get wireless charging for your devices. Yeah, that's great. So you don't have to mess with the cord. Now, you still need the cord for Apple CarPlay, but if you're using Apple CarPlay and your passenger wants to charge their device on that pad, perfect. You've got the mirrors. Again, these are going to be power folding mirrors. So if you go to a car meet, you've got a C8, but you've got a 1LT, and everyone else has a 2 or 3LT, and you park your cars, and you've got them all lined up. The one that the mirror's sticking out is going to look, it's going to be noticeable. Everyone's going to be like, oh, that's the guy that didn't spring for the 2LT. Everyone else's mirrors are going to fold in automatically. So just something to be aware of, unless you're willing to get out and close your mirrors up manually every time. That's just, hey, it comes on standard on the 2LT again. Rear cross traffic alert. The blind spots on this car are probably going to be horrendous when you're driving it, and trying to see out the back, backing up, is going to be difficult. You're going to have cameras and things like that, but having the rear cross traffic alert for stuff you can't see as you're backing out, because maybe you've got 2 SUVs on the side of you and you can't really see around them, it's going to save you money not getting plowed into by somebody coming through crosswise behind you. Same thing with the blind zone alert. You don't get it on the 1LT. It's standard on the 2LT for your blind spot monitoring. Now, this is the other big one. We've heard all about this front lift system that lifts the car 4 inches so you can clear things like driveway curbs and speed bumps. And it's got 1,000 programmable GPS markers that you can say, hey, anytime I come by this spot, raise the car up for me. You can't even get that. It's not even an option available on a 1LT. So there you go. If you wanted that feature, you got to go to 2LT. And that pretty much does it for the 1LT, 2LT comparison. I do want to talk about a couple other things that you might be considering with the vehicle when you buy it. For example, if you want a transparent roof, a clear roof, the car comes with a carbon fiber body color painted roof that's worth on its own $4,000 to $5,000. Okay, they are going to sell you an option for $1,000 or $2,000. I think it's $2,000 in 1995. At least it was on the C7 to get a clear roof instead of your body color carbon fiber roof. They'll charge you $2,000 to replace your $4,000 to $5,000 roof with a $2,000 roof instead of giving you a credit for the difference. You can get the body color roof and you can add the transparent roof for another $2,000. That's your smarter money right there. You could even sell the body colored roof if you wanted to somebody who's forgotten to latch theirs and it flew off. But it makes no sense to give up that very expensive carbon fiber roof just to get the clear roof. You can also go with the dual roof package instead, so you get both of them. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't want the performance exhaust system. You have the ability to select how loud or quiet you want your exhaust to be, and you get more power. Definitely something you want to think about getting. It's included with the Z51 performance package. And you definitely want the Z51 performance package if you are going to do any kind of tracking the car, autocrossing the car. I mean, just for the cooling alone, but you get better brakes, better tires, electronically limited slip differential. It's, the performance axle ratio. So if you want those 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, this is why it's under 3 seconds, because they changed the axle, the gear ratio in the differential so that it launches faster. So something to think about. You just get a performance suspension, the FE3 suspension. This is not magnetic ride anymore. The Z51 doesn't come with magnetic ride anymore. It's a separate option. I think it's well worth it. I have it. I've used it. I even got the upgrade when they offered it for the 2017 Grand Sport. And I think it's fantastic because it can ride nice and soft when you're just, you're on bad roads or you're just on a trip and you just want a nice comfy ride. And then it firms up to 2 different levels of firmness, sport, and then track when situation demands. It's the best of both worlds, and it really does make the car useful in more than one circumstance. So you're not just running around with a punishing ride all the time. Now, let's take a look at something here with the Z51 package. So this blue car has that Z51 package. This gray car does not. So you'll see right here, there's no front splitter at all. You get the air dams like you do on the C7 right now. And there's no spoiler. You get all-season tires. It says all-season right there. So those are what you get on the base car. On the Z51, you get the poverty splitter, which didn't even come on the C7 Z51. Neither the base or the Z51, as the Z51 comes just as a standard option, have side splitters or side skirts. And you do get the spoiler. This particular spoiler comes standard on the Z51 cars right here. Now, and you also get the performance exhaust, and then you get the brakes with the Z51 and the brake caliper. So that's what that says right there, Z51. And a little bit of the performance brakes. The brakes are better. So if you go here, though, this is how we would build the car with this. This is stage 2 aero. So you notice the canards here that you didn't get. There's no canards on the side here. So this is the performance aero. That's you can either get it in carbon flash or carbon fiber. I think it completes the look of the car, and it's going to give you better front end grip with more downforce on the front of the car. You get the side skirts with canards on the side as well, and then you get, if you opt for it, you can get this high wing spoiler, which for some reason you can't get with museum delivery. I don't understand that. I think it's because it's a dealer installed option. So here is another view of that car as we would build it, and you can see here, you know, all of the additional aero package. So the only difference between the 2LT and 3LT, by the way, is a little bit more color usually on the dash in the 3LT. The leather is higher quality Napa leather. You get microfiber here, like on the inside of the door, on the A-pillars, inside the door inserts, and then on the underside of the roof, it's going to probably be microfiber and maybe even quilted and stitched as well. That's really the only difference. The 2LT and 3LT are very, very similar as far as equipment goes. So I hope that was helpful. If you're considering ordering a C8 or you've already put your deposit down, you can always change that until they put the order in when the pricing comes out. So if you picked a 1LT and you're having doubts about that, maybe contact your salesman and have them switch it over to a 2LT car for you. But for now, this has been Brendan with Sons of Speed. We hope you've enjoyed the video. Please leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think about the different packages and what options you definitely want to have on your C8, or the ones that you think, no, that's not worth it. And if you haven't already, subscribe and throw us a like. Let us know what else you'd like us to cover on Corvette Corner. We're definitely going to be talking about the pricing coming up, and we'll hopefully be able to get to drive one of these sooner rather than later, and we'll bring you that as well. Again, this has been Brendan from Sons of Speed. Thanks for watching.